get all the information ready in its hand before it's rendering the page itself. That's why we will get the information much faster to make your website much faster. So that's what we are going to do now. We are going to get the session before it's getting loaded. So what we need to do is we need to export asynchronous function. We are going to load the getServerSideProps function. Let me copy that name because it's a quite big name. Copy this and paste it here. Okay, and you need to make sure that you need to pass on parameter here, context, because that will return a context. And even if you don't pass the context to get the session, it will throw an error. Sorry, it will not throw an error, it will not execute properly. So const session is equals await get session. We are going to use the get session method, which is going to come from our React Next.js React over here. Get session, import it and use it. Get session and pass that context inside context. Okay, so now we have that get session, and let me console log it. Let's see what is happening in the whenever the possible. You'll get the possibilities to console log it, pass it. And then if you go to the app, we need to pass the session as a prop. So we need to pass whatever the data we are fetching from the get server side, we need to pass it as a property. Okay, this is not like a Redux. You might think like a Redux in React, but it's not a Redux. It is just like a state management we are creating and we passing it as a prop. Okay, so I need to return it as a props, send the session we created, so it will be returned. Now let me go back here, our browser. So nothing is there. If I refresh it, look at that. Without that flickering, see, if I'm refreshing it, there is no flickering, guys. See, it's instantly loading directly that image only, that user details only. So if I refresh it, it's looking cool. So this is how you need to use your Next authentication along with Firebase and all those things. Okay then, so now if you look at your console, it's just showing only the session. So let me go back to my VS Code and look at that. It's printing quite a long information. So these are informations are nothing but which is printed by your context. So these are all the informations provided by the context. You can access it whenever you needed it. Okay, from there only we are getting our session information. This is our session information. Okay, good, cool. So let me close this, and I don't need this login anymore. So we successfully integrated a fast refreshing. Now if I click this, when I'm refreshing, I don't get that flickering anymore. So now let me log out again. Look at that, it's having this a simple design of signing with a simple design of signing page. So now we need to customize this signing page. So if you go to the Next.js and search for pages, there you can find this pages option. So delete it, search for pages and click this pages option, and you can find how to authenticate or how to, one second. So you can find how to authenticate all these things over here. Okay, so now we are going to customize our own sign-in page just by this. We are going to load a background image along with different, we'll see what we can do. So first what we need to do is we need to create a sign-in page inside our pages folder. So let's go back here, and inside the pages folder create a new file called signin.js. Make sure that's spelled correctly, everything in a lowercase. Cool. Okay, so then what we need to do is So here I need to import a quite a long information. So let's go back to the over here. So you can customize it, and it's displaying these are the providers. By default it gets rendered, so we need to render all the providers if you are available. Okay, so this is how you need to customize it. You need to get the information, so you need to load it by like this. So here it's showing inside the auth, so I'm not going to use it inside the auth. For me it's working fine anyways. I'm keeping it inside the pages folder itself. If you wish, you can keep it inside over there, so I'm keeping it inside the pages itself. Okay, so here they given this is if you're using the Next 9.3, you need to use it like this. If you're using the newer version, you need to use like this. Okay, so by using the server-side props, we are getting the providers and we are passing that providers over here, and we are using map function, we are rendering the providers. So providers is nothing but whatever the providers you are using inside your Next Auth.js, it will render all the things over there. I'll show you later. Okay, so now what we need to do, we just copy this information from here to our sign-in page, and let me import one more thing, import React. Okay, save the changes. And next what we need to do is we need to export the default function. So let me copy this and then paste it here, close the function, enter. Then I need to return here it's returning this React fragment with different division. So now what we are going to do is I'm going to what we can do, come on, think. So what we can do is we can load an image in the background. So let me go to the Pixabay. So Pixabay, search for what image I can say. Laptop, and let's say I can use what login screen I can use. Okay, I'll use this one. Okay, so let me copy this image address. I don't need to download it, let me copy that. Okay, so I'm going to create division, and this division is going to use flex items center, justify center, and it's going to be width screen, height screen, position relative. And then I'm going to load an image tag, and it's going to load this image, and then it's going to have a class name. Okay, so class name is going to be the absolute position. It's going to be loaded in the top. Or what we can do is we don't need to keep it as absolute. Class name, this is going to take the width full, height full, object with cover. Let me check. Okay, so it will throw us an error, so no issue. It will nothing work well fine, because we never redirect the user to this particular page. So first let's finish the design. So this will make sure that will image loaded in the full screen. Okay, so above this I'm going to create one more division, and that division is going to be the absolute division, and it's going to act as an overlay because that is too bright. We need to reduce the brightness. And the width, this is also is going to be full, height also full, and top 0, left 0, or you can use insert. Okay, insert X or insert Y, or insert alone it's at 0. That means top 0, right 0, bottom 0. This is not only in the Tailwind CSS, it is the basic CSS class. So okay, so this will make sure it will is the exactly top, left, right corner, everything as a 0. And the BG I'm going to use I'm going to use with a different color. Let's say neutral. Let's see what is happening right now. Okay, let's keep this color. Okay, and inside this I'm going to make it as a flex and everything. Flex, items center, justify center. And what we need to do is we need to copy this division, copy it, from here, object.render over here completely. We need to render that providers everything, whatever the providers we are getting, we need to render that provider completely with the passing with the key name of it, and it will redirect the user to that particular sign-in option. Okay, so it will print the provider name. Currently we having only one provider, that is our Google provider, so that will be printed over here. Okay, so I'm just going to see how it looks. Later we can customize it. Okay, so along with that, next what we need to do is we need to get that information. So export async function get server side props, get the context, open the function, and from the context we are going to get the very specific request and the response from the context. Okay, and then we are going to get the provider const providers equals await get providers is the method. We are going to use the get providers method from our React auth, so that will get all the providers. Okay, so it will get all the providers, and then we need to return this providers to our props. We need to return this provider to our props. Okay, so along with that, so what we need to do, let's say return props, well then let's return the providers. Let's see whether we did everything perfectly or not. Look at that, we get the providers and we return the providers, everything. Okay, so now let's give a life to our sign-in page. So what we need to do is go to the index.js. When the user clicks this particular sign-in, where is the sign-in is clicking, where it is over here. Instead of this, I'm going to get a callback function, and I'm going to get the router const router is equals use router. I'm going to navigate the user to our sign-in page. So where it is over here, router dot push the user to /sign-in page. Save the changes. Let's go back here. Let me click over here, reload it. Now it gets reloaded, and if I click this and look at that, this is our sign-in page. The image is not getting loaded. Why? Sign-in page is navigated, but your image is not getting loaded successfully. That is some mistakes. I figured out what the mistake is, because there is no height and width for our image. Class name is going to be width full, height full, object that cover. Oh no, we already added the class name and everything, right? Why then our image is not getting loaded? Inspect the elements, console, elements, image is there, but our image is not getting loaded. Okay, I think so, because of this color, that color BG neutral color, because of this color. Look at that, because of that color only it's not showing. I think then what we need to do is BG load this color RGBA 0,0,0,0.5. I'm not sure whether it's look at that, it's loading. So 0.6, 0.7. Okay, now this overlay effect is fine, and I need to customize this button over here. So what I need to do, I need to add these styles for this. Class name is equals border, and then border gray, not gray, something much darker. or quite light color like this. We can see that border now, and I need to have that padding effect. So padding P4. Okay, that's too big. So PX4 and then PY to rounded LG or medium. Okay, and BG slide 50. Okay, opacity, if you reduce the opacity, I think reduce the text opacity also. Opacity 10. Yeah, it's affecting our that opacity also. So what I can do is I can write a custom color over here. RGBA 255, 255, 255, 0.2. Cool. Okay, then for this button, I'm going to say colors, class name. So these are just nothing but the customization. You can use your own customization. So color, text color, I'm just going to say gray 900. That's not looking good. And black, fine. Let's make the font size, font semi bold. Okay, then semi bold, it's looking good. Then that's the problem. So what we can do is, let me give text blue. It's not working. Text blue is not there. 800. Nope, that color is completely awkward for the design. Okay, so let me leave it as it is over here, and then otherwise I'll change the color over here. Copy this, I'll paste this one over here. That's looking awkward too. That's fine, and the border color also we need to change it. Refresh it. Okay, so then I'll make this, it's a white color, white. Yeah, now I can see it much better. Okay, so I can see it much clearly. So you can play around with these customizations and all those things you can until feel satisfied. Just play around with this. Okay, then what I need to do is nothing. If I click this, that will load the sign in option. If I click this, that will takes me to the, again, it's coming back to the sign in page only. We need to redirect back to on successful sign-in, we need to redirect the user to a different page, right? So what I need to do is I need to write quite a few informations in the over here in the sign-in, because it's coming back to the same page. So once it's successfully logged in, we need to get the session and we need to send the user to the different location. To do that, I'm going to use const session is equals await get session, open it, and I'm going to pass that request what we extracted from the context over here. Okay, so before it, I'm going to check it if that is the session. Okay, and if there is any response, set the response status code. Okay, we are going to set the response status code as 302. So I'm not sure, I totally forgot what is the 302. So if you search for status code 302, what does mean 302? It's a found message in HTTP response status code indicating that requested resource has been temporarily removed. Okay. So I'm not sure why they are using it over here, but we need to pass that status code. Then what we need to do is we need to set the response dot header, set header. We need to set the response header, and then we need to change the location. We need to change the location as slash. We are passing the location as slash over here. After that, we need to return this props also, otherwise it will throw the error. So return the props session comma providers. So actually this, I'm thinking this is removing our this is removing that, and it's replacing that URL with our URL. I hope so. Let's make sure. Let's go back here, and if I click this, it will open the sign in. Click it, it will sign in. Now it should redirect to the home screen. Look at that, it's successfully redirected to the home screen. So everything is successfully integrated, and if I click this, our data is not flickering anymore, it's working fine. If I click this, it's going back to that our custom sign-in page. So we successfully integrated the Next.js with server-side rendering.